important do you think open houses and broker opens are going to be in this new market that we've got going on, where sellers, agents cannot put the amount in the MLS? Let's talk about it. I think they're really important. My name is Kathy Burns. I'm a realtor here in the Lake Norman area, just north of Charlotte in North Carolina. And if you want to know more about this and like this kind of conversation, please subscribe and share with everybody you know. Anyway, let's get at it. So, what do you think about open houses? I think they're going to be critical. Broker luncheons or opens, same thing. Why? Okay, so the seller can't put the amount in the MLS anymore as of August 17th, 2024. So the seller's agent can now put how much they are willing to offer, if anything, in the MLS anymore. So, and nothing that your marketing can be tied to, if it links to the MLS, can say what they would be willing to do. How are they going to know? You can do stickers on your signs. That's a good idea. You can leave a voicemail saying, let's say you're the listing agent. You can leave a voicemail on your phone saying, here's 123 Smith Street. Seller's willing to pay 2.5 or 3 or 1 or whatever, all your percents on there. Now, the reason that this is going to be so important to do, and I'll talk about some variable ideas of how you can do that again, but the reason that this is going to be so important to do is because of the new buyer agency requirement, where I, as an agent, cannot show you that house, no matter what you're offering, until I have a signed buyer's agent agreement. And if I'm smart, I'm negotiating what I'm going to be paid on that agreement. And so now I've got that signed with you. I've got to find out from that listing agent what's the amount, right? Well, that may all work, and you may have proven your purpose with that particular buyer, and they're willing to sign it, ready to go. And some are going to say, oh, heck no, I'm not signing anything. I want to see that house. So I could, if I'm the listing agent, I'm going to start offering open houses like crazy, Saturday and Sunday. Maybe I'll do it once in a week too, because in my marketing might say, don't want to sign a buyer's agency agreement, but still want to come in? Come to my open house. That might be my marketing ploy. Now, if they want to go back now and work with that agent, great. But what does that also do? Well, it opens up a whole different thing. So what are you talking about, Kathy? So now they're an unrepresented buyer coming into your open house. You're limited to what you can tell them, but there's also an opportunity where you could get them as an unrepresented buyer and do it. There's a potential for dual agency. I don't like either one of those. I'm going to tell you the truth, especially in lawsuit heaven that we're in right now. I would not do that. I would be inclined to say, I represent the seller if I am that listing agent doing the open house, which you may not necessarily be. You may have other agents who'll say, I'll do your open house for you. And they may be looking to be the buyer agent for them. Now, that's where the caution has to be. They can't start telling you all about the house unless they have a signed buyer's agent agreement. But they can show you the house, but they can't talk to that buyer about their personal situation without getting that signed. And so if it were me, I would be buyer's agents who are not the listing agent, offering to do these open houses on steroids. I'd come prepared with what, I'd want to know exactly what is the seller going to be paying that buyer's agent. I'd want a signed 220 that I have from that seller's agent, that the seller has already signed, so that I have that in my hot little hand. So now I'm doing my broker open, or my open house rather, for another agent. And I'm there, and first thing I'm going to ask is, are you represented by an agent? If they say no, I say, okay, I can show you the home, but I can't talk to you too much about your situation. There'll be specific things I may or may not be able to answer unless I became your buyer agent. But if you're just looking, come on, I'll show you the house, buddy. But if they said, you know what, I like this house, I'd really like to make an offer, I'd say, okay, well, now we got to sit down over here and talk buyer agency, because that's a whole different story. And then there's a whole conversation that goes with that. If you don't know that, I think I'm not necessarily going to go over that in this video. I'm just kind of giving you ideas of why open houses are going to be smart and where there's business opportunity. I think there's going to be some where you're getting cold leads, where people are calling because you been paying for leads and they're calling like they always have, and you nurtured them, and you may be able to do a fair amount where you're doing a buyer presentation, much like we would do for a listing presentation, where you're selling them on your worth. And you're selling them on the fact that the seller may be offering commissions and they may not, and what that'll mean to them if they had to pay you. Because don't work for free, people, and pay attention to this. There's a lot of people that just don't understand that if you don't have that signed buyer agency agreement that's got your commission, and now the seller's not offering anything, and yet your buyer can't afford to pay you. They may have signed it and said, well, I didn't understand that I wouldn't have to pay you. Maybe take them to court. Is that where we want to go? No, you've got to be very clear. Make this your business to understand these pieces within your business. You sit down with your broker, sit down with a rep from NAR, sit down with the your state attorney representative through your state national association, because they have attorneys where you can talk there too. So you're going to want to get all that. But I'm just saying, I think an open house is a great opportunity to get some unrepresented buyers where you can pick them up that way. As a seller agent, we're going to be doing them like crazy, Saturday and Sunday, and I'm not going to do them. I'm going to have other agents come in and do them for me. I'm going to make sure they're trained and that they know what to do. So they're going to have a 220 form from my seller, and they're going to have the forms that they need ready to go so that they have everything that they need at that open house so that they could take action if they had somebody that wanted to make a buy. Does that make sense to you guys? Now, for the broker opens, I think that's very important too. Let's talk about that. So you do a broker open, it could be a lunch, it could be wine, whatever it is, right? Or you just, hey, come on over. That's where you're getting the word out what the commission is, because you can talk about that. Now, I think you want them to see the house. If it were me, I think I would be doing a Facebook Live about this house. I'm over here at this house because this is not going to link to the MLS. So let's say I'm at a broker or an open house, either one, right? A broker open or an open house. I am not the listing agent or the selling agent. I'm just an agent, right? And now I'm there at this event. I'm doing a Facebook Live of the whole house. I'm talking about the coolness of it, the features. I may even go down to the amenities. I may talk about what's nearby, and I'm doing a Facebook Live on my personal Facebook page, right? And I'm talking all about this. I can say right in there, the seller is willing to pay the buyer's agent X, right? Now, I know that. So you're doing two things here. You don't have to say that part because you are helping the seller bring in other buyer agents, right? But this goes back to visibility. You want to be visible. You want to be the agent. Hey, Kathy's out there. She's saying, checking out this house. I like this house. I think I would just call Kathy because I haven't signed a buyer's agent with somebody else. I'll just call Kathy because I like what Kathy's doing, right? I like that too. My point is you're visible. You got to think about this, how you're going to handle this, right? But no matter what, I think open houses and broker opens, they're going to explode. I'm already seeing it. In the past week, I've gotten more invitations to open houses than I've ever gotten. And that's not because I'm special. That's because they're doing them more, right? So what are your thoughts on that? I'd like some comments below. If you're going to be cranky, I'm not interested in you. If you're productive, let's talk. So subscribe if you like this kind of stuff. Stay tuned. Let's connect. And if you're interested in EXP, because we know so much of what's going on, we've been so much ahead of the curve on this. Our CEO, Leo Perea, has been amazing, leading all kinds of companies and MLSs, helping with the forms that they didn't even have forms to do it in their MLS. So if you think that EXP might be the way to go because you're just hearing so many great things about how this company's handling it, and if you think we're not paying buyer's agents, you are completely misunderstanding the concept of what the NAR thing was. We are ahead of the game of how we're protecting. Clearly, we're going to pay buyer's agents because clearly our agents are also buyer agents. Come on, think about this, people. So let's schedule a business strategy call and let's talk about EXP if you'd like to, because I'm happy to help. If not, it's okay. Start doing the open houses and the broker luncheons and get out there and make this your business happen. I'm rooting for you, buddy. Okay, let's see you on the next one.